Welcome back to the Retirement Planning Made Easy.com show. I'm your host, as always, Chris Hammond, where we talk about here a lot of retirement related issues and planning for your retirement. Very helpful for people that are within 10, maybe 5 years from retirement, or maybe you've just recently retired and you're still interested in all this financial planning stuff and you want to stay on top of it to make sure that you're doing the right thing for your own savings and portfolio and all that good stuff. Now, today we are going to be talking about some common Roth IRA questions that people have. Roth IRAs are very popular, and you can see tons of videos on YouTube, podcasts that talk about Roth IRAs, the benefits that you can get from doing Roth conversions, things like that. You can see a lot of that here on my channel, here on YouTube, and for you podcast listeners, you can find some episodes about that in the past if you just look back through the queue of previous episodes. So we're going to talk about some common questions that come up with it, because you may be wondering, like, okay, I hear a lot of talk about Roth IRAs, Roth IRA conversions, but does it really make sense? So that's what we're going to talk about. So just kind of some just typical things that you need to know, like why open a Roth IRA account? Why do a Roth conversion? Are they really worth it? All right. What's the reasoning behind that? The math actually works out the same either way if tax rates never change. Even if you pay your taxes up front by putting the money in a Roth IRA and then it's all tax free when you pull it out, and let's assume those tax rates stay the same the whole time and you get the tax deduction and do a traditional IRA and then it grows, but then you're paying taxes when you pull it out, the math will work out the same, that you'll end up with the money that comes out into your cash, into your checking account. And then after you've paid the tax on that traditional IRA, it all comes out the same with a Roth IRA if tax rates stay the same. But there's actually a lot of other reasons. Tax rates probably won't stay the same. Tax rates will probably be higher. There's a lot of other reasons to consider Roth IRAs and why I'm such a big advocate of them. I'm not going to go into all that in this video right now, but some other things to consider. Is it better for my kids to inherit a Roth IRA compared to like a regular brokerage account? These are kind of where the rubber meets the road on Roths. So let's just start with one question. If I choose a Roth IRA instead of a taxable brokerage account, will my beneficiaries miss out on the tax savings that they get from a step up in basis when I die? All right. Good question. So let's start first of all with what is a step up in basis. So this is what it is. Let's use a non brokerage account, equities, investment. Let's use something that's not related to that. Let's say something that we all easily understand. You have your home. You live in a house, and let's say you paid $100,000 for that house 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it is. But now, and we all know real estate prices, they go up over time. Now that $100,000 house that you bought 20 years ago, now it is worth $400,000. And let's say you, and if you're married, your spouse, you pass away, and now your kids are going to inherit that house. Do they have to pay taxes, capital gains taxes, on that appreciation? You bought it for $100,000. It's now worth $400,000. Do they have to pay capital gains tax on that $300,000 gain that it had? And the answer is no, they don't, because they get a benefit called a step up in basis. So your basis in the house was $100,000 when you bought it 20 years ago. Now it's worth $400,000. But when you die, your beneficiaries, they get a step up in basis. So their basis in the house is $400,000. So if they sold it the day after your funeral and they got the $400,000 for it, they would not pay capital gains taxes on any of that growth. That's how it works on your house. Well, that's also how it works on a regular taxable account that you may have. So let's say You're not using let's say you have an account that is not inside an IRA, it's not inside a Roth IRA, it's not inside a 401k or your TSP or any employer provided plan. It's just money you've already paid tax on, and you went out and you got you a brokerage account opened up and you bought some stocks with it. And let's say you've ultimately put $100,000 into that brokerage account, and it has grown over the years to $400,000 just from appreciation of your stocks in the market. Now, if you sell those stocks, you're going to have to start paying, claiming capital gains and potentially paying capital gains tax on those gains if you sell it, in most circumstances. Now, if you pass away, your kids are going to inherit that, and they're going to get a step up in basis to where the value of that stock when you passed away, that new higher value will be their basis. So if they sell it at that amount, they're not going to have to claim capital gains and then potentially pay capital gains taxes on that. This is a huge benefit. That's in a regular taxable brokerage account. So the question is, if I do a Roth IRA, my kids are going to miss out on this step up in basis. All right. The Roth IRA, the way it works is that when you pass away, you don't have to necessarily worry about the whole basis and step up in basis and all that. The kids get that account and it's all tax free. So the missing out on a step up in basis doesn't even apply to that. They're still getting this account where when they sell the stock, it's tax free. In fact, even if they wait another 5 years before selling some of the stocks and equities in your Roth IRA after you pass away, and those stocks and equities have appreciated even farther beyond what they were on the day that you died, the kids are not going to have to pay capital gains taxes on that. It's even better than getting a step up basis on a taxable account. So that's the first common question that we see surrounding Roth IRAs. Another one: when I die, my beneficiaries must distribute my Roth IRA within 10 years. Won't that cause tax issues for them? Wouldn't a regular taxable account be better for them to inherit? So there's rules around inheriting IRAs and even Roth IRAs. So if you inherit a Roth IRA, you have to have all those funds pulled out of the Roth IRA before 10 years has passed after the person died. Okay. With a taxable account, you don't have to do that. Now, the question is, won't that cause tax issues for them if they're having to pull this money out within a 10-year period from that Roth IRA? And the answer is really no, it won't, because whatever they pull out from that Roth IRA is all tax-free. They pull it out, it comes out of that tax-free environment, and they don't have to pay tax on it. So the last part of the question was, wouldn't a regular taxable account be better for them to inherit? Well, not really, because that taxable account, it's going to have that step up in basis for the day that you die, and they can hold the money in there and delay taking any capital gains from that growth point the day you die on. But it is probably going to pay some dividends, probably going to pay some interest income. Your heirs will have to claim those on their tax return every year, whereas they wouldn't have to with a Roth IRA. Secondly, the Roth IRA is really giving you an additional 10 years that you can keep that money in that tax-free environment. Now, when you sell and it comes out of the tax-free environment, you don't pay any tax on it. But then you've pulled it out of that. You are then free if you want to. Your beneficiaries are free if they want to then go and take those funds now that the IRS made them pull out of the Roth IRA shelter, and they can go and they can put those funds in their own taxable brokerage account. So, I mean, they can still get to the same taxable brokerage account either way it looks. It's just the Roth IRA gives everything to them tax-free and an additional 10 years after you pass away that they can keep it under that umbrella of being tax-free. So still a good deal. Third question, it comes to thinking charitably. Does the Roth IRA cause me to miss out on giving appreciated stock to a charity, thus maximizing my giving. Okay, so with a taxable account, if you have appreciation of your stocks inside of it, instead of you selling those stocks, converting that into cash, claiming the capital gain, paying tax on it, and then giving what's left over to a charity, you can just gift those appreciated stocks to the charity so that the charity is able to get more money, because you're not having to take a tax hit on it and then give them what's left. You can just gift over those appreciated stocks. With the Roth IRA, if you pull money out of the Roth, 100% of it you're going to get because it's tax free, and then you could give that to the charity. Now, when you're thinking charitably, you do want to be smart with things, because if you're able to get tax-free income for yourself from your Roth IRA, you probably want to do that. And if you're able to then also give tax advantaged by giving appreciated stocks from a taxable account, and you're able to give those to a charity, that would be a smarter way of doing things as opposed to giving funds from your Roth IRA. So preferably, you're going to have a mixture, a tax diversification of some of your money in Roth IRA, some of it in traditional IRA, and some of it in taxable accounts. So you want to be smart with how you approach giving charitably, but the Roth IRA does not mess anything up as far as like taxes and things like that when it comes to giving. All right, let's talk about the takeaways. Tax diversification is a good thing. Tax diversification is just another phrase for saying, hey, have some of your money in a tax-free account like a Roth, have some of your money in a traditional IRA, and have some of it in a taxable brokerage account. It gives you a lot of flexibility on where you pull your income in retirement. If you see that your income thresholds are getting to a point where you're about to have to pay an additional amount on your Medicare Part B and Part D because of income, then having that tax diversification allows you to be able to pull from your Roth IRA, just for example. Or if you find that you're in a situation where you're in a 0% capital gains bracket, you might say, well, it makes sense to sell some of the stocks in my taxable brokerage account because it's not going to create a taxable event if I'm watching it closely and I'm staying under the thresholds and all that stuff. So it gives you flexibility on that. Another key takeaway is these are very individualized decisions on what makes sense for you to put X amount of dollars in a Roth IRA versus a traditional versus a taxable account. They're individual decisions, and you have to look at it. A lot of times it's going to depend on what your taxes are going to look like for the year. Does it make sense to convert to funds from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA when I'm in a really high tax bracket? Well, it may not, probably won't, but it's one of those things where your situation, your tax bracket that you fall in based on your earnings, going to be different from your next door neighbor. So all these decisions need to be approached as very individual decisions. And that's why it's so important that you get expert advice and have a retirement plan in place that's going to incorporate tax planning into it to help you lower the lifetime taxes that you pay. A retirement plan is not just your investments. It also includes tax planning as well. It includes income planning. It includes discussion of estate planning also. These all go into a retirement plan. Well, today we're talking about Roth IRA, so tax planning is also important to have that incorporated into your retirement plan. So get that expert advice on that before you do anything. And if you need any additional help with your retirement planning, hop on over, get on your computer, type in retirementplanningmadeeasy.com, and you can see at the top of our page a free download for our essential step-by-step retirement guide, which is going to help you in your retirement planning journey. Head over there, put in your name, your email. We will immediately send it out to you. No waiting. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next video.